Live Hangouts, here we go. Look at this. So with the Wholesale Real Estate Investing, number 233 here on a Freedom Friday, fantastic phone day. I don't know what this is going to be, but it is a cloudy morning here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Paul Romero. That's where I'm hanging out from, Phoenix, Arizona. We always like to know where you guys are hanging out from, so type it in and let us know. I want to say welcome to all of you wholesale real estate investors, all of you wannabe wholesale real estate investors, especially you guys. You're in the right place to come here, find out all of the things you need to know about what it takes to be a successful wholesaler, some things about what it takes just to be successful, period. And with that, I'd like to say good morning to, or good AM to Mr. John, my business partner here at Saha. And what's happening there, Johnny?
Hey, well, welcome to the Freedom Friday, Phone Call Friday type hangout. For those of you who've been joining us, you know this as Freedom Friday, and Paul and I are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday doing these hangouts live, streaming on YouTube, Google+. You need to come on board and hang out with us every day that we're on here and get this great knowledge and wisdom that we're passing on for free. That's the amazing thing. And last week, Wednesday, Paul and I had done a live phone call to a seller, and it actually went really well. And then we had the opportunity to kind of critique the things that I did right on the phone call and potentially the things I did wrong, which on that particular phone call, I seemed to do everything right, which is pretty awesome. And so we thought, because of the success of that hangout, that we would maybe try to do phone calls on Friday to cold calls to potential sellers of properties and kind of just roll with it and see what happens. Now, can't guarantee outcomes. I'll be calling people that I've never spoken to before about a property. They don't even know they don't even know that it's for sale yet. So the calls can either go really well or they can go really bad. I can look really awesome and great, or I can look like a total schmuck. So I just putting it out there that we don't know what the outcomes of these calls are going to be, which is what makes it so exciting that we're doing them live. And we may not even be able to get somebody on the phone. We just might dial a bunch of numbers and get absolutely nothing. So who knows? But it'll be exciting, and we'll see as it unfolds.
Curious about one thing you said in there. You said that they don't even know their house is for sale yet. Well, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes. Well, Paul and I are a lead generation masters. Or is that what we call it? No, lead gathering. We gather our leads by digging through public records and different databases to find people that fit a certain criteria. That criteria is financial hardship. Properties are a burden. Properties are in foreclosure for one reason or another, not just bank foreclosure. There's a lot that potentially going on here. So with that, a lot of these people may be owners of vacant properties. They may be living in the property, but they haven't listed it for sale. They haven't offered it for sale. And we're going to them to break the ice, get a conversation going about the property, introduce the problem that they're having with the property, and position ourselves as the experts with the solution and the options to save the property. And the option that we offer in 90% of the cases is the option to avoid further financial hardship through the sale of their property. So that's why I say they don't even know it yet, because I'm the one that's going to motivate them to sell it.
And a number of them too as well don't even think that it's something that they can sell and make money from in the first place. So that's also part of the reason why they don't know it yet, because they don't even realize that they have something there that they could potentially make some money out of, which is kind of awesome when you present that to some people, and some people don't believe it. And that's an interesting conversation when you're trying to convince them that this is real. And then some people are just really so surprised and shocked and overjoyed that they're just like, yeah, let's do this thing. So like John says, how these phone calls can go is, I mean, completely up in the air. I mean, one phone call can go very good. The next phone call could be very, go nowhere kind of a thing. So yeah, it's very interesting that very interesting how these things play out. So with that, are you all squared away there, John? You got a lineup ready to go, or?
I do, and I'm scrolling through my notes just to get. I looked at. I made a list of 9 potential phone calls that we could make this morning. So I've got to imagine and hope that somewhere, somehow, one of these people are going to pick up the phone and speak with us. So, oh, geez, where is the phone number? Well, I'll just kind of go through it. This first lead that we're going to work on here is one that's in foreclosure. They haven't paid HOA in a number of years, and they have about a $10,000 lien on the property. The property's vacant, and the owner's deceased. And we've found some local relatives who we believe will be the people that we need to speak to in order to make this deal happen. Hold on. I think I found it. All right, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and just make this phone call now, and let's see what happens, shall we? All right. Okay.
You have reached 623-972-8199. Sorry we missed your call. Please leave a message with your name and number, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. If you're trying to reach Premier Healthcare, you dialed the wrong number. Thanks. Bye.
What was that about the wrong number?
Oh no! That's the people. They said if you try to reach some healthcare company, you have the wrong number.
Oh, okay. So
they must be getting a lot of calls from people looking for some healthcare company.
Yeah, exactly. Tired of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, obviously we saw that one go. That one didn't work out. Let's try this other one here.
How come you didn't leave a message?
Reason I didn't leave a message on that one is because I want to try to make contact at a later point in the afternoon today, because that's on today's my daily call list. The reason I didn't leave a message is I was going to try to call it at 3 different points today and try to get in touch with them first before leaving a message. And then on my 3rd attempt today, around towards the end of the day, if I don't get an answer, I'm going to leave them a message at that point.
Gotcha.
All right. I'm going to try this one. Basically, this is just a, let's see. Okay, let's see. There's a D for dollar indicator months ago you wanted to sell. Okay. This one isn't a completely cold call. This is one that Paul and I have been tracking, believe it or not, since December of 2014. Oh, Paul's got a phone call coming in. December 2014. It is absolutely 100% vacant. We've had multiple conversations with this guy before. He's indicated interest in selling. And so I figured, hey, let's give him a call back. Every few months we follow up with him and see if he's not ready to make a move now. Eventually, this property, and I've got to imagine this property being vacant, he'll eventually sell it someday. right?
Is this one of those people that's using it for a storage unit?
I'm not quite sure what they're using it for. So
Oh,
let's
okay.
see if
No,
we can find out.
no, I just wondering. I know we've had a couple of those people. I was wondering if it was one of them.
8, 9. Hi, this is John from Phoenix, Arizona. Is this, you said this is Mike?
Yeah, hello.
Hi, Mike. How you doing? My name is John from Phoenix, Arizona. I was giving you a call because I'm with a company and we do real estate. And we came across a property on 28th Drive, Unit 242 in Phoenix. And I believe you're the owner of that property. You familiar with that house? Say that again.
You said you're involved in real estate. What do you do? You manage real estate?
Yeah.
What role do you play?
Yeah, I'm involved in real estate, and my company, we buy properties in the valley, and we're building a rental portfolio with condos. And I'm very interested in some condos in the 85029 zip code. And one of my drivers brought this property to my attention on 28th Drive. And I was giving you a call today to see if you had any interest in entertaining an offer for it.
No, not that unit. I have a unit over in Peoria that I'd be interested in putting on the market.
Oh,
but not the one in Phoenix.
okay.
It's a good location.
Yeah, it is a good location. That's why I love it over there. You got a renter in there. You have a renter in there now, Mike?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. So it's cash flowing for you. I can understand. You probably don't want to get rid, sell that one. What's going on with that one in Peoria that you mentioned?
It's at the Discovery at the Orchards on off of Wacker Drive in Peoria.
Okay.
It's a two-bedroom unit.
2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-bath in there?
A two-bedroom, 1.5 bath.
1.5 bath.
Yeah.
I may be interested in that. Do you have a price in mind already?
No, I have not. I have not sold anything in the Phoenix metropolitan area since 1991. So I don't have any. I've held these properties as rentals. They're already paid for and they're generating cash.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have any tax advantages anymore, so I can just taking the money and going somewhere else and get a tax write-off.
Got you. That makes total sense. Total sense. So you've owned a lot of your units here in town for a number of years.
No, I had about 5. I'm down to 2 now. But the others I produced many years ago. I never seem to be able to catch an upswing in the market in Phoenix. I always seem to have something available when the downturn is. And of course, since 2007, 2008, I haven't done anything because it's really been in turmoil. Not just in Phoenix, but everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd be interested in looking at some numbers today on that, and if it's okay, getting back with you towards the end of the day and see if, throw an offer your way and see if it's something that might work for you. Is there a renter currently in place over there?
No.
Okay.
No, there's not, and I'm right in the process, probably within a week, of getting a management company to go in and manage the getting it ready to rent out again.
All right, gotcha. You know what? Then it sounds like you want to either get a renter or possibly sell it fast. So I'll get back to you today with an offer and see if we can't make something work. If you don't mind, could you give me the address. This way I can pull it up on Google Maps here and do a little bit of research.
Yeah, I'm not so I'm driving right now. Would I be able to call you back here in a few moments?
Absolutely. You can call me back.
Okay, I got you at 602-881-5562.
Yes, that's my number.
Right, and your name again?
My name is John, and I'm with
John,
TWP Properties.
Okay, very good. I'll give you a call, John. Okay, a few minutes here.
All right, that sounds good, Mike. I appreciate that. All right, thanks.
Bye-bye.
There you have it.
There you have it. He wants to sell another property. I'm just that freaking good. I'm gonna go get a glass of water. Talk about that.
I mean, so here we call a guy in regards to a property that was vacant at one time that we were looking at, obviously. Obviously, he has since got a management company, as he was just talking about getting ready to do with this particular property, got it ready for a renter, and has since put a renter back into that property. And he likes the Phoenix location better than the other property that he has, which happens to be sitting vacant right now, that we had no clue about, had no idea he had this property up there. And lo and behold, just a short little conversation, friendly little conversation, kind of a little goofy there, but you know, whatever, it works. And the guy is like, oh well, you know, that property I'm thinking I want to keep, but I have another one that I'm thinking about maybe getting rid of. So very, very awesome how it just flows from, you know, the conversation of. And you said that originally, John, that house in Phoenix was definitely vacant.
Yeah, when we found it, it was vacant. It was vacant. He was having troubles with the HOA, and he had a couple of liens. It's been, like I said, it's an old lead that we tracked for 2 years at this point. He was, I don't believe I had ever spoke to him before. One of the other team members had spoke to him and made an offer on that condo quite some time ago. And it wasn't the number he was looking for. And the reason I was following up with him today, as we were saying, is just to come in as a different, as a different investor, a different company. I kind of know the situation a little bit, so I had that advantage. But I wasn't sure if it was vacant. I wasn't sure if he had moved a renter in. I called, the phone number I called was out of state. The guy I know, Mike, lives out of state. So it was an absentee owner. It wasn't originally how we came across that property. He had some judgments and legal issues against him that showed that he would be motivated, and he has since over the last 2 years has cleaned himself up. He's taken care of a lot of his financial issues, but he never said no, leave me alone, I don't want to sell. So the fact that he never said those things to us, he remained on our list for the simple reason that he's an out-of-state absentee landlord owner. And not all that doesn't mean they're going to be motivated, but it does show that there's typically a degree of motivation, especially when they're between renters. The interesting thing, in the past, he's never mentioned that other property. It must have just become vacant.
Yeah, exactly. He just said, lost his tax advantages and whatnot. And like I said, the interesting thing, he put it in there. He said, I'm just about getting ready to get a management company on that property and get it ready and get a renter in there for me. So the other property that was vacant, I bet you that's exactly what he did right there. Got himself a management company to go in there and take care of that property, get it fixed up for him or whatnot, whatever it might have needed, and get himself a renter back in there. And during that time, yeah, all of a sudden the renter bails on this place, and it's been sitting vacant for probably, I would guess, from the sound of it, this one's probably been sitting vacant for at least a couple of months.
Yeah, potentially. And, I kept reiterating statements back to him to affirm things he was saying. Like when he said, I'm looking at getting a management company to kind of get things fixed up and get that ready for a renter here in the next week. I said, okay, it sounds like you want to do something quickly, sooner rather than later with this property. So you know what? I'll make sure I do the research on it and get back to you today, because I want to show him, oh, he wants to do something. I'm going to get on it. I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to do what I can on my end to help you out. And selling it is something you may be interested in. He has no idea what that number is going to look like. So I'll go in and I'll make him an offer. And let's just see, perhaps he doesn't want to sell it to us. What I can say is like, well, you are looking for a renter, renting that property to me for a year, 2 years, that wouldn't be something you might be interested in, giving me, I wouldn't say quite 1-2 years, because we need 3 to 5 years on terms. And I might say something to him later if we're talking and my cash offer doesn't make sense. Granted, if it's a deal, Paul was holding up a little sign about a crazy HOA. So I wonder if Paul's already familiar with this particular development or this particular complex. But
well, I thought I was when he first mentioned the name. I was thinking it was one of those ones in. Remember, we had those people that had those two that they couldn't get rid of, and we were going to offer $1,000 for them. I was thinking that name sounded like that cop, but it might not be. I thought it was that HOA that he mentioned, that Discovery. But after I said that, after I thought about it, it may not be that particular HOA. But if it is, and they want $1,100 a month or something like that for the HOA fees, then forget it.
He's going to call me back in a few minutes with the address. I'm going to also throw in the fact that I already knew the address before the end of that phone call. Simple, quick research I did while as soon as he mentioned he had another property by Wacker Road, I was already researching it and found the property, which I am not going to give out on the air. But I am going to, now that we have a chance, I want to bring it up while we're talking here, just kind of see, start a little bit of my research here and see if it is actually a deal.
Well, if you weren't on the Hangout right now, you could probably do enough research between now and the time he calls that you could be getting ready to give him an offer immediately, huh?
Yeah. Oh, geez. Zillow.com is not working today. That's my favorite place to start. It's at Thunderbird. I'll give the cross streets. What the hell? That ain't going to hurt anything. It's at 79th Avenue, south of Thunderbird.
All right.
Not a bad location at all.
I'm pretty sure that's not the place that I was thinking of.
Yeah, and Zillow is down. That's where I like to start my my research. Actually, I know a lot of investors poo-poo it, but I think Zillow is a great tool. Personally, I'm not here. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to get an affiliate marketing compensation for promoting their website, but I do like the website. I'm going to use another one called Redfin, which is pretty good. Don't care for it as much. I definitely think that Redfin's estimate on this property is definitely wrong.
Yeah, that site doesn't seem to have any sort of accuracy whatsoever anymore. When we first started using it, I liked it better than Zillow as far as getting a pretty accurate number, but it doesn't seem to be anywhere close anymore compared to what Zillow is.
Well, I think this is going to blow your mind because we know that it's a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath in Peoria that he's keeping as a rental unit. So off the bat, based on just that and the general area of town, maximum value for a condo over there, maximum for a 2-1, I got to imagine is what, Paul, a $65,000 to maybe $85,000 if it's a high-end complex.
Yep.
Redfin estimates it to be a $419,000 condo.
I think that one's a little bit off, but you know what? 79 T-Bird, There's a good possibility that could be over $100,000 condo because of the fact of where that's at within the neighborhood right there, what's around there. The houses that are around there obviously is what's jacking up that value, because Redfin obviously took a radius search and just multiplied some numbers, and there you go. Wrong. But
Well,
yeah.
interesting thing about it, it's 1,088 square feet. For a 2-bedroom, 1.5-bath townhome condo, 1,000 square feet's a very comfortable, very large, very nice size place.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. That's an $800 a month rental all day long. And I will say, though, I did find one comp here real quick in the same complex that sold on 12/23 of 15. I like that comp. Oh, yeah. Vaulted ceilings, stainless steel appliance. Very nice. I could see the rehab work that went into this condo, the granite, what they did in the bathroom, tile surrounds, gorgeous pool in the community.
Just the fact of what you're telling me right there that they did on the rehab, that right there tells me it's not one of the $60,000 condos, because if it was, nobody would put that stuff in it.
Exactly. So this listing here is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. So I haven't found a 2-1 yet. It's 560 square feet. So it's half the size, and it's 1 bedroom less and a half a bathroom less. Sold in that condition for $52,600.
Wow.
That's a lot for a 1-1. So Paul could be right. It could be you could probably add another 30 grand to 40 grand for the double square footage and the that extra bedroom. So this could be an $80,000 condo. Obviously, I'm not committed to that number yet until I actually do a little bit deeper research and verify that.
Interesting.
So
the conversation I thought went very well. It was, like I said, it was short. That was nice. Keep it simple. Keep it short. You want to get out of the conversation right away. You don't want to have a long, drawn out conversation. All you want to do is get this thing sparked up and get right to the point of getting some information and getting back to him with the number. Wouldn't that be right, John?
Absolutely. And the nice thing about that conversation is we had a couple laughs. He laughed a little bit. He explained about the tax advantages. We know that we've got like a little short window here to entice him with some sort of an offer because he's ready to get a renter back in place. Doesn't sound to be he sounds kind of maybe like a no nonsense guy. He wants to, keep his cash flow coming. He likes that property at the 85029. Quite frankly, I like that location a little bit better because this looks to be an expensive HOA. For a 1-1, it's $170. For a 2-1 unit, it's probably going to be about maybe $200 to $225 for a 2-1 unit. Puts me and Paul out of the ballpark for wanting to take this down as a rental. We cap it off at $160. If the HOA is charging more than $160 a month, Paul and I aren't putting it in our portfolio. But there's plenty of investors that those numbers won't scare away, especially since I'm thinking, looking at the condition and the location, actually, Paul, is probably an $850 a month for a 2-bedroom rental over there, believe it or not, looking at the location. So it's a great deal for somebody else to buy, but it could be a great deal for us to wholesale, or if we get a good enough spread to do a rehab on it. So
my guess,
what's that?
I said my guess, just from the conversation and listening to the guy, is that because of something that he said in that conversation, is that he's not going to be interested in our cash offer. However, like you said, talking about changing the conversation of, well, you talk about putting a renter in there. What about renting it to me for a while? What about renting it to me for a couple of years? Something like that. There could be an angle to go after a potential deal that way with this guy. But because he said that he never seems to be able to catch the market at its peak. I think he's a guy that's going to be looking for a market value offer.
Yes, good observation there. And that's where I was going to go with it with him, was make a cash offer based on 25 grand in remodel, which I'm going to tell him, I know that's a lot for a condo, but I need to get you understanding where my position is and get the conversation open. And I can certainly offer you a lot more money once I get the opportunity to get in and see the place. But let's assume that I need to put 25K into the fixing and the rehab of that place and the upgrades. I would need to get a condo like this at about at this number, but I can certainly adjust that. Is it turnkey? What kind? Do you know what kind of condition it's in? Get him talking about that, and I say, well, let's assume that it needed the 25K in repairs. Would that be a number you'd be interested in? Great. Let me see the place, and I'll adjust those numbers according to what's actually the condition. And then if he's like, no, that really wouldn't work because yada yada, I could say, well, you mentioned that you're going to get a management company to come in there and fix it up and get ready for a renter. How about, if I'm renting it to me for 3 to 5 years, that wouldn't be something you'd be comfortable with, would it be?
Right.
No, ask him in that negative way, and he'd be like, well, no, maybe I would be comfortable renting to you. But like, listen, you rent it to me, you won't have to do it. We'll do like a lease options agreement for sale. I'll kind of take over the role of the management company. You won't have to really worry about getting it spruced up and ready to show your prospective renter. And I would be kind of taking on those responsibility roles that a management company would. You're looking for professional property management. Let's just end the hassle for you right now and, rent it to me for the next 3 to 5 years.
Let your renter be your manager.
Yep.
So, hey, listen, everybody, that's a real, there's a live phone call for you. There's a live potential deal there. Obviously, probably not going to be a cash lowball wholesale flip deal, but you know what? You got to be creative in this business, and you got to be able to have a toolbox with multiple tools in it. So this guy doesn't have a broken window, and if you're not, this guy has a broken window, and if you're not the guy, you're not the glass guy, you're the plumber, you're not going to be able to fix his window. You know what I mean? So kind of works that way, and that's why you got to have multiple tools in your toolbox, be able to be creative, think outside the box, and make deals out of whatever comes your way. So with that, I'm going to throw it back over to John for one final quick closing thought and send us out of here.
I think you should go back and watch the way that conversation went with the guy. And that was a tough phone call, Paul, because he was on the road and I could tell, and it was very difficult to have a conversation because his signal was breaking up something fierce, and I really couldn't hear him too well to engage in his. I really wasn't quite sure what was making him laugh at the one stage because I didn't really hear what he said. But we got great information. The call went well, and I'm going to have the opportunity to at least get at least make the offer to structure a deal today with this guy. So with that being said, go back and watch how that went. My presentation is never perfect on the phone. There's a few things I try to say the same time each time I say them, but I don't always say it the same way, and it doesn't always come out perfect. But hey, you know what it is? You have a jovial, excited tone to your voice. You have a friendly conversation. You listen to what they say, and you ask them questions, and you reaffirm some of the things that they say to you. You're real nice about it, not pushy about it, and you get that invitation to make an offer. And the cool thing about that is I was calling about a property that he had no interest in selling, but something about the conversation, the energies, we connected. He liked me enough to say, hey, I wasn't thinking about selling this other property, pretty much was the gist of it. He didn't say these words exactly, but I do have another property I want to potentially sell or rent out in the next week or so. So I think that went well. It would be a great thing to fall back on, just to observe and see how easy this really is when you're just comfortable and know the right things to say, and you know how to handle and talk with people. So with that, we'll close with the Napoleon Hill prayer, which goes, "Oh universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom to make better phone calls in order to make more money and get more deals, and to control and direct my own mind to whatever ends I may desire, which is to get more deals. We'll see y'all back here on New Update.
That's it, guys. Freedom through the phone.